Maybe it's a good thing Serge got banned. Oh my God!
Y'all gonna get
So,
the corona. Oh, my bad. Let y'all
oh
do
no,
your thing.
I was gonna say we ain't did not one intro. Are we gonna do that now?
It's a throwback podcast. This is a reunion. You know what I'm saying? I'm sipping my my sweet Marcella wine. In case y'all didn't peep, it's a celebration. You know what I'm saying?
He over here grown.
Young entrepreneurs. You feel me? You know what I mean?
My brother. So, I got coffee.
I got my coffee over here too. I was like, yeah, man, all I got is bring the bottle out for the fellas, man. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
All I got is 2 bottles of green tea in there, but I got alcohol in there, but it's for the guest.
Oh, for the guests, yeah. I don't drink that much alcohol. Just a little wine every now and again. I can't hold my alcohol, bro.
I'm light because I don't drink like I used to, so I'm light.
I've
you see
always
the bottom of my
light.
fridge, it's in there for 2 months.
I got some wine aging in there that you ain't really supposed to age. It's aging though.
It wasn't on purpose.
Nah.
So you're saying the alcohol's for guests, my good sir?
See, it's still aging. You ain't peep ass, I'm trying to tell you.
I'm guessing it's not for the fellas.
Bruh, I got something you need to taste. It has never came out of my mouth.
I have the finest Pinot Grigio from my bros.
Right.
Pinot Grigio.
Look like a Merlot guy.
I prefer sweet red to myself. That's just me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is a Nerdz Rambling Podcast, if there ever was one. It's me and Lee the Poet, and we got a special guest with us, Philip Butler. We got a father, black dad, businessman, entrepreneur, graphic designer, artist. What else am I leaving out, man?
Animator. Primarily animator. Yeah.
Heard you save kids on the weekends. Tries to save chicks from brawls and bowling alleys.
Yeah, man. I try to throw in that cape every now and again, you know what I'm saying? But apparently tall, 200-pound, blind white man is my kryptonite. You know what I'm saying?
The only
who attacks from my backside. Pause.
Hey, don't fight Lex Luger, bro. Don't fight Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Oh man. So there's a lot going on before we even get into what you got going on. But so it was brought to my attention, which I watched actually this morning. Mighty Ducks, not a reboot, but I guess a continuation. They got a new show with Emilio Estevez. And I watched it, and somebody warned me, told me it was like a little corny, but I was like, it's actually in the Mighty Ducks realm. I was like, this makes sense.
You watched it, man?
I watched it. I sat here and watched it because I was up this
Any
morning.
of the OGs? Any of the OG kids on there? Well, they OG men and women now.
Not yet, which is funny because I saw once Lewis brought it up. Earlier that day, I did see an Instagram picture drop with him and some of the OGs.
Yeah. But you watched it, huh? I saw the promo for it, and I was like, nah.
I sat there and watched it, and it is what it is. It's Disney, so you know what it is. But and it's kids, but story-wise, it wasn't too corny or nothing like that. I could sit there and watch it because I'm curious what's going to happen. And I have some questions from where it left off because in the old movies, wasn't he? Didn't he get with Charlie's mom and stuff like that?
I thought so.
Oh, he did get. Yeah.
Or was that? I don't know what happened after three. Because when they went to that high school, there was a little romance. Yeah, because they were dating.
How many Mighty Duck movies were there? Was it 2 or 3?
D3, I remember specifically.
Yeah, I think 3.
But I was trying to figure out, was 3 the one when they went to high school? And they went to some super prep high school?
What's the one where he coached like that all-star team? Was 2 or 3 the all-star team?
It was 2.
Was it 2? Some of the all-stars came back in 3, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the Daredevil show, the Netflix, wasn't Foggy the dude who was like the super?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Like started with an F2. Yeah, he's hit the park. He was wild with the puck. He hit it too strong. What was it called?
Knuckle Puck.
Knuckle Puck was
Knuckle Puck time. Oh, okay.
That was Kenan Thompson.
Kenan Thompson was in that?
Yeah, he was Knuckle Puck time.
What they call them? Was the Bash Brothers? What their names?
Yeah, Bash Brothers. That was Foggy and the other dude who was an adult playing a kid. Which is hilarious when you think about it, because you were like, Foggy, I thought you were like 6'8" compared to everybody in there. And now you was the big bully. So now it's like, oh yeah, we were children. That's why. He was 5'5".
Yeah, we were kids.
5'5" and 14. Everybody's like, oh wow, that's crazy.
So you saying, okay, so are you putting
he grew 2 more inches and that was it.
So you recommending the series?
As a father, you can watch that with your kid.
That's exactly what I thought, because I have a problem nowadays because I work from home now.
Yeah.
Where I want to watch, like blood and violence.
You want to watch?
You know what I mean? Cut. I want to watch Snyder Cut. I want to watch Daredevil. You know what I mean? I want to watch The Warrior. You know what I'm saying? And I can't watch that during the day. So I gotta find a nice happy compromise.
Yeah,
besides Looney Tunes.
Yeah, like I said, I watched it, and I was just like, all right, cool, I can tolerate this like by myself. I don't need a kid. I was like,
yeah,
because I'm like mentally. Once he told me it was corny, I was like, okay, and I was like, oh, it's not like, wasn't like an iCarly show, one of those like super teen kid shows.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's not that level of corny. I went in thinking, so, oh, it's better than what I thought. I was like, all right, I can deal with this.
So it's still okay. So it's still good. It still has a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I have a lot to say about stories, man. I have a lot to say. So hold on. So I gotta talk about what I do a little bit. Then we can get to it. Yeah. I got a whole lot of stuff to say about story, man. About the Snyder Cut, about Mighty Ducks, about all of that.
My guy. I had just heard about this show. Like when y'all texted, I think I had just heard about the show too, and I was like,
"That's my first." Like he put me on to that because I was just like, "Mighty Ducks." And the funny thing, I thought he's like this when he said it. I thought it was like something had been out until Nick was like, "Man, that dropped today." I was like, "Man, why you got me thinking?" I was like, "I ain't heard nothing about this."
I saw like a post. Like it wasn't even a thing where like I saw ad. It's like a post, and I was like, I wonder when that comes out. That I just forgot about it. Then y'all text about it.
I thought it was just an anniversary thing. Like I said, I saw the picture of him and the OGs just on the ice.
With all the
yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay, must be like an anniversary because every so often they post something like Mighty Ducks or something when they get together or something. But that was the first time I think I seen Amelia on it forever because I was like, I thought he retired.
No, I was pretty sure I was a grown man when I found out that was Charlie Sheen's brother. Like I had no idea. Like I had no idea. There's nothing, bro. It's like when you meet like someone who's like in corporate America and someone who's actively trapping. It's like y'all brothers in the same house.
When like his dad was his dad and all that stuff like that, I was like, wait, they're all related. I think I knew because they did that one movie together. Were they like Garbage Man or maybe it was one of those comedies or something? And they were like, brother. I remember it being like in a trailer or something. I was like, but their last names are different. Now I was like, man, me and my brother last name different.
Because Amelia took his mom's or something like that?
No, their original names are Estevez.
Oh.
Like, I think there's some Spanish, I don't know, like some Spanish or something. And then the father for acting took on the name Sheen. And Charlie, when he started, like, he's still Estevez, but he took off his daddy's persona, Sheen.
Okay.
Emilio was only like, man, Emilio Estevez.
I'm Emilio. Was it Night the Roxbury? Emilio!
Emilio was like, Estevez to the death of me, Holmes. He's like, man. It's like, are you? It don't matter, man.
That's why I was confused. When I seen his last name, I'm like, wait, Sheen, are y'all not? Like I was so confused. I'm like, we just studied Spanish American in history. Something don't match it.
We're like, in the award show, they're looking up. So I was like, Emilio, all right, you're getting like scholarships. This stuff, minority scholar. They come in. He's like, we're looking for Emilio. He's like, I'm Emilio. Matt White.
Fam, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you, I was on a minority scholarship at UK, and I ain't gonna lie to you. There was a couple times I go to scholarship meeting, and you look and you be like, "Are you just real light?" They just was real light. Oh, you thought?
Yeah, Yeah. But sometimes it'd be like, remember that scandal?
Like, minority?
Yeah, votes, some people putting this like, I'm a 16th or whatever native, and it turned it's like before 23andMe and stuff was out. People just getting bail. White people's like, nah, man, we got Cherokee. It's like, you ain't no Cherokee.
Y'all, I worked with a girl. God bless her heart. God bless her heart. This is a sweet lady I used to work with. She's a little younger than me. She said my grandmother is half. I want to say she said Cherokee. Mm-hmm. I was like, and she had a picture of her granny up on her wall in the cubicle. So I'm looking at it. I said, hey, do me a favor. Can you Google Cherokee Nation real quick? Just Google it real quick. Just Google it. And so I said, go to images. No, just go to images. And I had to scroll through it. I was like, tell me what you see here versus the picture you showed me. Just, her granny it wasn't nothing Native American about her granny. Her granny was Irish, Scottish, Welsh, European, French. There was nothing. It wasn't even like close, like not even in the bone. And then I think what happened is her sister worked with us too, and she was like, Granny's not half nothing, baby. She's like, Granny ain't half nothing. Someone must have told her that, but I think she just believed it.
They found some beads or something. It's like, no, your granny snatched that from some. She was like, pretty, mine's now. Shut up, I'll kill you. I'll have Daddy kill you and your friends if you don't let me tab it. What? Dream catchers.
Dream catchers.
But I was going to say, did y'all see the Suicide Squad trailer? That just dropped.
Okay, first thing, I didn't see the trailer, but why are they giving this the Hulk treatment? Remember, we were young. The Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad.
It is a sequel, though. They're not.
I know
paying it off,
but the we can't get this.
They gotta re-rank because that's WBDC. They know they messing up. Especially, like I said, this Snyder cut, it was like, it's like I said, Lewis said, it's a double-edged sword. It was like, oh, this is pretty good. And it was like, man, y'all could have been doing it. Y'all shoot yourself in the foot. It's like, y'all interfering with the artists, doing good work, and everybody's been mad at you. It's like thinking, why y'all keep putting out this trash when your source material has very good stories?
Yeah.
See, the solo movies are dope, except for Wonder Woman 84. With that kind of thing. The solo movies have been dope, so it's like, so when y'all pace yourself and not try to rush the universe, you do it what? You do it right.
But, y'all should watch it. It's very. I think it's gonna be like what he did for Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't want to compare, but
Josh Whedon's doing it.
No, James Gunn.
Oh, Gunn.
Oh, okay, dope.
Yeah. So as far as like, I knew of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was like one of those kind of there's space.
Yeah, it was like whatever. But the movies though.
yeah. But the movies came out, I was like, this is actually like entertaining. Like movie just as a movie, I was like, this is entertaining and it's tying in. And Suicide Squad, the way he broke it up, so he wants to do it as like he's breaking up movies where it's just like this, not this real story, but it's going to be about the different Suicide Squad, how they mix them up to get different criminals. So it's going to be like different missions they go on.
Yeah.
So, and he said doing that also is going to be like real because they kill them off like it ain't nothing because they're just criminal. So he's going to have all
what
the
you
abstracts.
Say?
Right.
Beat.
He's like, oh, you was trying to play. He said, hey guys, I got an escape plan. We can. You might. It's like. And they're gonna have
you thought?
He's going full like comic with it because I think one of the main villains is like Starro, and it's basically a giant starfish.
I just saw that recently. Yeah.
And it like latches on and controls your mind. It's like one of those hive creatures, like parasites.
Oh.
Yeah. And they were saying in the Snyder cut what Darkseid was using Steppenwolf was using like to look in your mind. Those are supposed to be mechanical. Those are based off Starro.
Okay. Connection. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I do have a question. Because me and you discussed it. Phil, I want your opinion of the Snyder cut. I know you watched it.
Yeah, I did. I like it. I'll just say that straight out the gate. I like it.
My God.
I feel like So let me backtrack for a little bit, man. I had a conversation with this dude at a place that I worked at a couple of years back, and it was over Batman versus Superman, and he was like, "Oh man, the director cut. You need to check it out. It cleans up the story. It corrects so many things. Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Bruh, what is it, like an extra 15 minutes?" He's like, "Yeah." And we went back and forth, man. And I was arguing like, "Bro, 15
sounds
minutes
like
ain't
me.
gonna make no difference." You be pitching for the director's cut, or you're like, I don't need to.
Yeah, just as like just to make the story comprehensive, like it makes it make sense. As far as like you liking it, I was like, but I be needing closure and stuff. I was like, if stuff no makes, I was like, it bothers me.
Yeah.
So it's an extra like 30 minutes of the movie, and it really messes you up because there's main parts that you see whole scenes they cut out of dialogue stuff. It's like, oh, so just jumping into that, this makes sense instead of just being like, man, he blew up the city, man. He could have fought better. I hate him. Let's kill him.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's that. Like, so for me, that's what the theatrical version of Batman vs Superman was, and I was like, all right, I love the first half, hate the second half.
Yep,
I'm done with DC. Like, I'm rocking with Marvel. You know what I mean? Yep. And at that time, like, it kind of relates to what I'm doing as an artist, because at that time I was just like sharpening my technical skills, like making sure I'm drawing bodies better, drawing anatomy better, drawing dope backgrounds and making it all look good. But nowadays I focus more on story. You know what I mean? And I'm realizing you could have the best, especially in animation, you could have the best designed background or character, but if the story doesn't make sense and nobody cares about your character, it's a waste of time. So needless to say, I went back, I watched the director's cut of Batman v Superman, and it was just like what you were saying, Griff. They took out the whole sequence of Clark Kent's investigation and everything. So everything made so much more sense, and it was so much more comprehensive. Now, Snyder cut of Justice League, it was that on steroids. Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved what they did with Cyborg. In the theatrical cut, you could see that Cyborg had something to do with it. I hated how they treated, what was the dude who was from Terminator 2? I just know him as the black dude from Terminator 2 who was like,
his dad,
Eric Dyson or whatever his name is. I'm just like, man.
Go. Like, that was white man. Everybody in there died so trash. They died so trash.
So like what they did with I'm like, man, that dude is a phenomenal actor, right? Even though I just know him from Terminator, like.
I'm mad you broke him down to that one scene though, because now it's stuck in my head. I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
I thought that was so funny, even when I was a kid. Like the whole movie was dope, but I'm like, why is he doing that? Like, I'm like,
yeah, I didn't get that either. We was kids.
I'm like,
I was like, did he die just now? Like, did he die? Like, did he let it go because he died? I don't know what just happened. But
I'm like, is he on steroids? Like, what is that? I mean, somebody holding his arm up? What's going on with this dude? But he was dope in that movie.
He acts well.
Oh no,
he's good.
He acts well.
And so when I was looking at it, and the same dude I was arguing this with, I went with him and another coworker to see the Justice League in theater, and I'm like, why is this guy in for only this small scene? It's like they just crammed him in just to like, what's the point of him even being here? You know what I mean? Just to say that Cyborg had a father. So, anyways, I like how they fleshed out Cyborg's story
too in the first one.
Yeah. He was a jerk.
And showing his mom was great. Yeah. Because his mom was dead, but it's like you don't see none of that. Now you see it. Oh, your mom died in an accident. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she could have died at birth for all as we know, because they ain't say nothing about it.
Nothing.
And you know what I love most about how they handle Cyborg, it wasn't that they just gave him more. It was that they showed that he is just as important, and his responsibility is just as deep, if not more than Superman's, because he may not be able to reverse the spin of the earth, but you know, he can basically influence wars and politics and stuff, you know, and
money, technology, all that.
Money, tech, all of that, dude.
And even that, it's like Superman, he can save you, like, oh, car was about to hit you, I picked you up, got you out of the way. Still going that trash life. It's like Cyborg saved that lady because they was on the streets. She got evicted. She was a kid. She's like,
oh, funny story. Funny story. Her part, that poor lady waitress who got the money, that was original footage. She did an interview. Someone showed a post online. Yeah. That was not new footage. Like, that was for the original version. So they gave her an interview. She said, yeah, my part was cut. She was like, anybody watch it? My part in there now? She filmed this for the original movie.
Yeah.
So keep dramatic, emotional, because even though we know there were some reshoots, people don't understand how much he already had down pat. It was a lot already played.
So he wasn't shooting that much more.
Oh, it was just the nightmare scene, like when they're in the post-apocalypse, when he added Jared Leto and some dialogue, and
y'all not about to like me for my next opinion.
And some Harry Cow.
Hold on. Hold on. What you got to say, Phil? What you got to say? He said we're not gonna like it. That's what say.
Oh, and while we're talking about that, before you get into, I want you to know that Justice is Gray is now out now. You know, that's the black and white version.
Yes, in black and white, yeah. Like Logan, like they did Logan.
And there's alternate ending scenes for the epilogue. So there's a whole nother, because there was 2 scenes he did with Jared Leto. He liked both of them, but the first one he said that he thought that was better for this first push of the movie. But there's a whole nother scene where he has different lines. Like,
I'm gonna watch that.
The stuff on the trailer.
I'm gonna watch that.
What he said, society. Like we live in a society stuff they were doing in the trailer. That's on the black and white version, so you can watch that. So you can just skip to the end because all the rest of the movie is the same. It's just that whole.
Yeah. I would still rewatch the movie, man. I think the movie's phenomenal. I really do.
I might watch. I might have it in the background while I'm doing stuff. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably buy it. Like, I'll probably buy it for real. I liked it.
I like that they changed. I didn't hate the theatrical cut of this movie.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I just thought they just missed the mark. But
I disliked it quite well. I didn't hate it.
Oh, I hated the ending. Absolutely hated the ending of the theatrical trailer. Hated the ending. But it makes sense because it was all like Josh Whedon.
It was chopped up. Yeah, it was chopped up.
All chopped up, all happy go. I mean,
just a trailer of the movie?
No, the movie. The actual, the actual version of the movie, where
I felt the same about
Superman shows up in the red and the blue and red suit, and they're all happy-go-lucky, and they're all standing together like super friends. That's what it reminded me of, the Super Friends cartoon from like the 1980s. And I was like, this is trash. I don't even care about your after-credit scenes. I don't care.
And like,
overall, I was like, it was all right. I give it like a C+.
And I
thought it was like a C, like a C.
D.
He said D.
I felt the same way about us, like Fantastic Four. Like, hey man, just starting off pretty. Man, what are y'all doing, man? Hey.
See, I didn't even see that.
Okay, I have to keep preaching this. If you get a chance, Phil, if you get a chance to watch Fantastic Four, the 2016 one, I know there's a lot of hate. Watch it. Stop at the halfway mark. I know fan force. Stop it halfway through and assess it. You're gonna look at it and go, wait a minute. These are pretty good casting. Like, you'll be like, this is pretty good. Then finish it, and then you'll be like, oh.
The
director told him. He said, what I turned into them is not what they gave back to me.
Yeah.
You know
we need to fight for his cut of the movie because it doesn't make like the whole. I'll even say 3/4 of the movie. You're starting off a kind of story, and then the ending just like makes no.
And part of the Fantastic Four, there was a dark section that I've never heard of that I loved. They were sending Johnny Storm and the Thing on covert missions by themselves. And I was like, that would actually make sense. He can fly over there. You can't trace him back. I was like, I thought it was a unique take.
Yeah.
Like them being government agents, pretty much like a Weapon X type character. And then they would bring him back. And I was like, oh, this is kind of hard. But then once again, that didn't get fully fleshed out. They gave it a different ending, and then we got what we got.
Right.
See, man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield supposedly had that same issue, you know, and that's kind of like when I checked out on comic movies, because I really like the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, And, you know, again, I was just more on like, not so much on the story back then. I was just kind of like a fanboy, like, where are the web shooters? You know what I'm saying? They flashed web shooters in their first one.
Oh, yeah,
I thought Andrew Garfield was okay. Looking back on it, the story's like really like iffy. You know what I'm saying?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I didn't even watch. I think I watched I maybe watched the Michael Bay reboot.
It's the same movie.
Hold on, reboot of what? Turtles? Oh yeah, he's talking about Turtles. Yeah, it's the same movie. Yeah.
I didn't see the sequel. They almost got me because, you know what I'm saying, we 80s babies, and I remember Bebop and Rocksteady. Never saw them on the big screen. I saw them in the trailer, and I was like, "No, babe, you ain't gonna get me with that. I'm not gonna. Nah, you're not gonna get me like that."
They didn't do great, but I'm just saying, plot wise, Teenage Mutant Michael Bay, Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, amazing, same plot.
Hold on, Griff. By that logic, the first X-Men, because he was gonna turn them all to mutants. Remember that?
Yeah.
The first X-Men movie, he was gonna turn them all to mutants. That was the plan.
Yep.
Yeah, that's been used
first
way
X-Men,
too many times.
Michael Bay, Amazing Spider-Man, same plots.
So what are they gonna do with Michael Bay in the first Ninja Turtles movie? They're gonna turn them all into mutants?
Yep. But no, okay, I'll give them this because
I don't remember the plot.
The Amazing Spider-Man Ninja Turtle makes that so similar. It was like a new giant tower they were building, whatever, and they were using that like radio waves.
Oh, I think I saw a breakdown of that on YouTube.
But when he brings it up, that is the first X-Men because they used the Statue of Liberty or something, right?
Yeah.
Make a machine. Same concept. Let's make them all like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. I thought the first two Amazing Spider-Man movies, I liked them both. The second one, and I talked about this in the previous podcast, the issue I had was I hated Jamie Foxx's overly nerdy, overly corny character. I didn't like that. I liked what they did with it because if I look at it like this is a superhero movie about a Spider-Man character, not necessarily Spider-Man that I'm used to. I was like, okay, I can enjoy it if I go with that mindset.
Yeah.
If I go in there looking for Tobey Maguire, or if I go in there looking for 90s cartoon, no, not at all. Like, it's not that at all. But see, once I got that, I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. And what's the face? She played a great
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone. She played a great
those characters. She's good.
And her death scene, I don't know. Rest of the movie aside, when she's just there and he falls down, and I was like, oh wow, this got real.
I feel like they did too much though in the movie. It was too much going on. Trying to force the love story into action and all.
That was Spider-Man 3's issue. That's Spider-Man 3's issue. Too much stuff. Focus on this. Spider-Man 3 should not have been that bad.
They tried to introduce 40 new characters and try to make us care about them, and then still like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's issues. It's like,
there's Venom a little bit. His greatest villain. He's in here a little bit. Oh,
see, that was the studio. It's these studios, bro. They coming in here and they ruining this stuff, man.
We don't care about Sandman. I've read the comics. I don't care about Sandman.
Never.
I don't know a Spider-Man fan who cares about Sandman, bro. I swear.
But you know what though?
Like Hydro Man.
Sandman's a throwaway character. In the Ultimate Comics, I remember reading Hydro Man with sand.
Oh, we totally missed that. You froze.
Yeah, you froze up, bro. You were like, ah.
Oh, sorry. Like you said, Hydro Man, but with sand. It's like in the Ultimate Comics, he's so bad. I remember reading the Ultimate Comics, and it was like Sandman had some panels. Hey, this thing happened, and then they went to the next like arc. Like he was just a multi-panel character. Like, hey, this guy got defeated. It's like they were reporting on it, and then that was it. He was literally a throwaway character, even in the comic books. I'm like, he shouldn't have been the main villain of a movie. Before Venom, imagine getting a Batman movie and somebody said, we're gonna make it, it's just Robin the whole movie. Like, no, that's not what I asked for.
And when you think about it, when you break it down, they kind of had him OP in the movie because he was pretty much doing like the mummy stuff, like being a giant like sand monster and all that stuff like that. I was like, then you got strong. Venom, who's just the opposite of Spider-Man. I was like, all right, man. So you trying to say Black Spider-Man?
Dude, from that 70s show.
You were, oh my god,
that was a weird casting. Yeah, that was a weird casting. That was weird.
And they just made him a vampire. They gave him like vampire ugly demon teeth. I was just like,
and he was like,
what the?
And they made it, but they tried to make him like, instead of being how Venom's character is, I forgot the actual like human's name. They tried to make him Eddie Brock. Thank you. They tried to make him sarcastic Peter.
Yeah. And
it was like, that's not who Eddie's supposed to be, like the tough, like I'll kill you.
Sneaky, shiesty dude. Yeah.
He was like, I make jokes for some reason.
And the whole thing,
but no one knows who I am.
Eddie was just like trying so
I'm
hard.
I'm dating your daughter.
Yeah.
Well, and see, with Jamie Foxx's Electro, though, I felt like
I didn't have a problem.
I felt like because this is him. This is Oscar winner Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, y'all had an opportunity to bring a Dr. Manhattan level performance with this Electro. Like, that's what you should have got. Because Andrew Garfield, I don't care what anybody says, dude's acting chops are off the charts. And
he can act. Yes.
Yeah, man. And I felt like they missed out on a whole lot. See, the thing about that I'm learning about story, man, is the best stories to stick with us are emotional stories, and we care about the characters.
And Spider-Man is super emotional storylines a lot of times.
Super emotional, bro.
He loses. People die. Like Spider-Man loses and people die.
And then he goes back to like regular crappy job. He don't he has a lot going on.
Back to his job, yeah. He gotta act like everything's regular.
Mm-hmm. And you got Sally Field, you got Jamie Foxx, you got Emma Stone, you got Andrew Garfield, and then you got the other dude who came on as Harry Osborne. It was just like,
oh, he killed him. He looked so evil.
Yeah.
He looked so evil.
They did too much. Adding him in there, it was like, like they did the same thing with that one. They tried to add too many characters.
They did, and they tried to build up the Sinister Six with no build up.
Yeah.
At the end, when they saw all their helmets in the prison, you're like, wait, so where was Vulture? Like, where were these people? It was like, you just showed me a bunch of villains. We know who they are. But there was no introduction. Yeah, but there was no build up. So it was like, wait, we didn't see Vulture. I was like, wait, who are these helmets?
And the thing that made me mad about Harry's character is like, all right, it's supposed to be like a family disease. It's a different take on the Goblin or whatever. Family disease. Your daddy's 60-something, just now starting the show. Nigga, you just found out. Then the next week you're like, I'm breaking out. I got the Goblin coming through. I was like, you don't 40 years.
He's like 22.
Yeah, he's like, hold on. This guy out of high school is like, oh man, that Goblin.
That's the other thing. You had Chris Cooper as Norman Osborn. Chris Cooper, bro, that dude can act. I just remember him from American Beauty.
I think it's
the script from The Bourne Identity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was the script. And
because when he says about James, we talked about that. I was like, I'm pretty sure they came just like, no, you're a nerd and you're gonna try. And Jamie's probably like, I don't know what Electro is. He's like, I'm trusting you. I feel like he's one of those actors, like he'll go all in or whatever director says.
You're right. It might have been director said act this way. Because those parts where you start realizing, wait, you're like a halfway genius engineer who saved the New York like power grid, and you get treated like you're not qualified to be there. And I was kind of like, it's kind of like if you ever watch a movie and they cast a woman and they'll go, oh, this is the girl next door, nobody notices, but it'd be Jennifer Love Hewitt or Halle Berry. You're like, that doesn't, right. This doesn't work. It doesn't work. It don't work that way, bro. It's a ponytail. And overall, not another teen movie. Not another teen movie. Because you'll be like, that does, as a man, we've all been in high school and college. If she looks that good, I don't care if she wears ponytails and no makeup. We hollering. We're going to be like, hey, what's her name?
Every move.
She wears pajamas to class.
Routine. They're going to know when she leaves from work in the morning, when she gets back home, when she goes jogging. Come on.
She got a bonnet and wears pajamas to class. You be like, man, she think on her. Yeah. Know it's something about
Go put a bonnet and pajamas on Halle Berry. She's still Halle Berry, my man. So it's like, hey man, what's Bonnet Girl doing? I don't know. I'm gonna go see what's up there.
Nah, in the movies they be pushing them like, get out of here, nerd. I'm like, who's just abusing these chicks on campus? It's like, she has overalls. Gross.
So
it's not real life. It's not real life at all.
It would have been a dude catching her for. I got you, babe. Don't let them treat you like that, man.
They'll do it with dudes. Dudes don't be 6'5", ripped, talking about he's getting bullied. Now he bench 500. It's not happening.
Nah. I didn't really like the Jared Leto after credit scene.
That's what he was talking. I knew it. Okay.
I didn't really like it, bro.
What was your grief with Jared Leto's scene? Because I thought overall he has played a decent Joker. We just haven't gotten enough of him, my opinion. But you didn't like it. My G.
Release the Leto cut and get all that.
Actually, I will pick it back up what you said before you go. I will say this. What I don't like that Snyder's been doing, I have one little gripe. If you're not comic or Batman Justice League history familiar, there's things they reference that there's no in this universe media for, so you don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
I do. There's no Robin flashback. There's no his house burning down flat. There's nothing to show the trauma Batman and Jared Leto have been through that they're referencing to. No flashback.
Yeah, they just kind of asked the audience to accept the history.
He describes killing Robin with no video of him killing Robin. So it's kind of like, and then which Robin? So it's like, there's little things where it's like, clean that up. Now you couldn't sequels with you really couldn't sequels with flashbacks.
He said he wanted to do a graphic novel about that, the backstory.
Yeah, but see, man, that's not. I'm not cool with that.
And
like,
he's
once
kind
upon
of
a time I would have been.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like,
and I get asking the fact that how many reboots have we seen? Is like the Spider-Man thing. It's like how many times Uncle Ben got to die, my G. It's like how many times Bruce Wayne's praying. It's like, come on, see them pearls get ripped off her neck. How many times get shot?
At least in the last one, Batman vs Superman, it was like a little couple minutes.
But still, it's like they're dead, my G. We know, bro.
I like how they did it. I like how they did it in this last one.
Yeah. Now Spider-Man, the newest ones, they wake up, Ben's dead, and it's just. Just let him be dead already.
So I kind of feel him on like him being like, come on, man, y'all know who these people are. You know one of these stories. But granted, the Robin thing was totally different. Like the whole death of Robin would have been dope. And I think he said he wanted that to be actually Dick Grayson. He wanted
that because I asked the same questions you did, Lee. I'm like, which Robin are we talking about? You know
also, I automatically assume it was Todd or
that's what I thought. That was
or Drake.
But my thing is, and also who burned down Batman's mansion? He's there in that little condo over the water. Why is his mansion burned to the ground?
It burns down
unless it was just Superman.
It depends. It burns down a lot. It could have been going off the old Dark Knight series, or it could have been they find out like
the X-Men '90s cartoon. Every season, the mansion got burned down.
Yeah, and it be so hilarious. Like they still don't find out he's like Batman or anything. They just go out because somebody got some beef with Bruce or something like that. We're gonna rob the richest guy. Like every so often, they're like, man, we do got a billionaire living in this town. Why don't we just rob this guy?
Right.
Like they finally put that together. It was like I burned it out, but nobody ever goes downstairs. It's like
I know.
Hey.
I think Leto was jacking the little Heath Ledger, man, in this last one. I think he was jacking the little Heath Ledger.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think it was the same he did in the Suicide Squad, though. I felt like that was the same dude.
Suicide Squad was. I did see that. But there were. I don't know if it was the long hair, but there was a thing he did with his voice, and I can't remember what it was that he was saying. And I kind of laughed that he did that reminded me more of Heath Ledger. And I guess maybe that's because I haven't seen enough of him, like y'all are saying. You know
that might be the issue. We haven't got enough of him.
Yeah, so immediately I have to compare him to somebody. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like for those reasons, I don't. All in all, I like the performance, but I know it was a dream sequence. But it's like it felt tacked on. So what do we do? What do we do with this story wise? You know what I mean? Like I didn't need this.
Yeah.
Like the redone movie by itself was like
We're setting up the sequel that we're supposed
setting
to
up
get.
The season 2, which is supposed to be mostly post-apocalypse. Like the whole second movie is most of the half was supposed to have been them in their different timeline trying to get back to change the past, whatever.
Which to me, I like where that's planned to go. Mm-hmm. I have one gripe. This is what the plans, not the movie, but the plans. Mm-hmm. I don't like the plan he had for Superman's son. Don't like it. I think it's stupid.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So this leads. This is the plan.
Go ahead.
Lois and Superman have a son who is born completely powerless and becomes the new Batman. Like that.
Because if you notice in the movie, she got that pregnancy test. Because she found out
I saw that. Yeah.
So Superman's firing blanks? What's up with that, bro?
Oh, he got her pregnant.
But she ain't got no powers.
God.
Yeah, but he ain't got no powers. That's a blank to me. I'm like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog.
Forget that she's pregnant. He's like, man, he got no powers though.
That's weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
which actually doesn't really make sense because all Kryptonians. I just realized something. It doesn't make sense because based on how Kryptonians work, they're all born able to draw power from the sun. That'd be like that means those genes don't cross over at all. Like that means none of them crossed over.
Some people have birth defects. You know?
The most powerful creature in this part of the universe just don't.
Hey,
these
lions ain't the best lions. You get scarred. You don't get a Mufasa. Sometimes you get a scar. Just out here like, I'm weak. I can never fight you. Type. Oh my God.
I got the lion shit when it comes.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can see that. I can see that idea working, but at first when you started saying that, I was like, Superman Returns. Which makes me think,
dude,
he thought that and was like, let's make him the next Batman. Try to pivot.
Why not?
I can see.
He has a kid without power. Like, there's so many different versions of the comics where his kids.
It depends on which timeline he goes through. I mean, it really matters.
Because he got.
I don't read the DC comics. I haven't read the comics. I've been watching a lot of the animated films, which I love, by the way. Love them.
DC animated films, bruh.
Love them,
bruh.
Love them. I just discovered them, bruh.
And that makes you more upset when the movies were coming out. When the live action movies come out, and the animated movies were just
up here.
And you're like, okay, do that.
Yeah, just do. Hold on, Griff. They did do it once, about halfway. Phil, so you've watched Aquaman in live action, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen Throne of Atlantis, the animated movie?
Yes.
Bro, it's like I'm gonna say over 50% is like the same movie.
Yeah.
When I saw Throne of Atlantis, I remember watching it and being like, I love this. Then Aquaman, the trailers came out. I said, are we about to get the same movie twice?
Yeah.
We're about to do the same movie, aren't we?
I wouldn't mind.
But I didn't mind it because I didn't hate the movie. So
yeah, I didn't hate the movie.
I didn't. So I was like, it was pretty decent. And this new Aquaman, this last 20 years Aquaman. Yeah. God bless whoever rewrote Aquaman when we was kids, because early Aquaman, I hated him so much.
I used to be like a kid. I'm like, dude, why are you swimming with an orange sweater? Heavy in the water. Like
he had the weakest costume. People's sidekicks had better looking costumes. Robin with the tidy whities had better looking costumes.
Yeah.
It was so weak. Oh, and another thing you said about Jared Leto, Joker, I will say this. They tried so hard to make the Flash into Spider-Man. Like his mannerisms.
Yeah.
They tried to make him Peter Parker, and it was like, no, Flash is not. I see what they were trying to do, but it's like, no, don't make the Flash Peter Parker. Make him the Flash. They tried so hard to make him like the buddy. Like, I'm the buddy. I'm funny. But like with less swag and less confidence. But with less confidence. See, the Flash, he's goofy, supremely confident, though.
I need friends.
Yeah, like that's not.
Yeah.
Flash is not like that. Flash be like, you don't like me? Oh, well, tough titties. And then he fly, they run away. Like that's the Flash. This guy was like, people love me. Please.
Yeah, kind of.
Wonder Woman would go out with me, younger guys.
That hot dog shit was kind of funny. Like he stared at her and then like just.
No, he got so hype. He goes, I was like, damn man, he ain't got no money. He can't afford a hot dog.
He ain't got no breezies, dog.
So we're not gonna. So that's it for the Snyder. For the Snyder cut, DC, because like I said, well, I was telling you, Lee, I didn't want to get too much into it because I know we had to do this show, but so that makes me wonder, all right, so like, do they wrap it up? You know what I'm saying? Because are these Superman sequels, or is the Superman story wrapped up? Because we got a Batman reboot.
I think that's why they're doing he wanted to do the Man of Steel too. Remember, he was the original director supposed to do because he did the first Man of Steel, and they took him off everything. And now they're talking about the new Superman that's supposed to be the Black Superman.
Black Superman.
Yeah.
So there was a Black Superman. His story wasn't great though.
See, man, I barely know about it. I'll say it, man. Don't.
Well, there's a couple of them. So there was one way back, and it's like it's older. It's way older than us type. That's how old it was, but it was a Black Superman. Blah blah blah.
I think I know where you're going. Because I had this issue with a lot of comics, and I'm in the middle of a lot of things in my thinking. I'll just say that. Yeah. And sometimes I see where it's like, hey, this is cool. Don't do it in a stupid way.
Yeah.
Don't
do it to pander.
Don't try to pander to me. Don't pander to me.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna say like this. I'm gonna say this. I've said this before in the podcast. Now, if anyone ever watches this, we gotta make sure you listen to my entire thought. I don't mind you making. I don't mind people making, like, for example, Black Disney princesses. Like Frog Princess, loved it. I bought it.
And it was original news.
Yes. So for me, when you talk about a Black mermaid, I don't really care. If you want to give me that, give me an African fairy tale. Make a movie of that. Give me a Nazi the Spider fairy tale. Give me that. Oh, yeah. Don't just paint me there. No. Yeah, we have our own stories. Tell these stories. Tell these African stories.
And there's lots of Black princesses stories and stuff like that. Think about all the Disney they're pulling from fairy tales. It's like there's other fairy tales of colors. Where you think they got Mulan from? It's a
Pocahontas, Mulan, Aladdin. Like, see how these make sense? Pocahontas, Mulan, Aladdin.
And see, so I'm working with Johnny. I just a little self promotion, shameless self promotion. Y'all don't mind, you know what I'm saying?
Go
ahead. You know Johnny. With GC Media Entertainment. So basically, I've been brought on as like an art director, and I primarily do animation. You know what I mean? I do illustration, I do graphic design. Folks can check out my website, philcojo.com.
Link in the bottom.
Yeah. So all that. All right. So one of the big things that me and Johnny have spoken about is making sure that more of our stories are being told. You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily have to specifically just be Black people, but I feel like me and him had a conversation about Soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Soul is a good movie, but we kind of clown because we're like, look, man, this is not today's Black man story. This is like a Black dude from like the 19. Yeah,
I was more interested about the barber.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. The barber, for one, is a more interesting character. The lead character, this dude just wasn't it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't hit. And then his story, it's like, bro, we talking about like Coltrane, Miles Davis, man, this is like 60s and 70s and 80s type stuff. That's not today's genre, bro. Like if you want to tell a real story,
an R&B group or something like that would have been
making an R&B. Yeah, thank you, man. Like it was so antiquated, and I feel like that's just Disney trying to play it safe. You know what I mean?
Like it's safe. You go old school, it's safer.
Yeah,
it's less safe to go.
And I don't want to break it down because, like I said, I enjoyed the movie too. But it's like you really break it down. What is this dude in like late 40s, pushing middle age?
Yeah, man.
Just by himself. You're a school teacher, but you're not happy with yourself. It's like
just enjoy the moment. Like
bro.
Wait,
like there's too many others.
It's like, hey man, this guy isn't a loser. You gotta love what you love. It's like, wait, what?
I'm like, bro, we gotta talk about opportunities. We gotta talk about the struggle. We gotta talk about inspiring these folks, man, to wanna fight through this thing. And so, I'm putting a team together, man. I'm working on these animations, and that's one of our goals is to build a studio where we can bring in talents. And story writing is going to be a big part of it, so that we can tell authentic stories, man. Because
let me clap it up. I'm gonna tell you why. This is not to hate on nobody. I don't hate on nobody, but this is something that gets on my nerves. Hey, will you make a story that I like that represents me? No, support people who already do that. Stop asking companies to make it. If it don't hit their bottom line, they're not going to do it, and you know that. Don't play stupid. Business and money exist. Don't act like they don't. People on YouTube, Instagram, private investors, private animators, private actors, Ben had these stories out. Support them, promote them, repost them, rent them, buy them.
So I was watching, I think it was a 2020, it was a 60 Minutes interview with George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
And George Lucas was breaking down how the industry works. And Lee, everything that you were just saying is pretty much what he was talking about. And he mentioned how he had to fund the Tuskegee Airmen by himself out of his own pockets, because he said studios, he was pitching that idea to studios and they wouldn't accept it. They wouldn't take it. And
Red Tails?
Red Tails. Yeah. Red Tails.
Okay.
My bad. And he was saying that, the studios, they look at the analytics of everything, and they look at the marketplace. Is this movie going to do well in China? Is this movie going to do well with American audiences, which is, predominantly white, Hispanic, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And if it doesn't match up with their analytics, they're not going to do it. So, that's never going to change, bro. That's never, ever, ever going to change. So all we're going to keep getting is Soul and Raya that just came out, which might be a dupe. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It looks kind of dope. I want to check it out. But
I did not for 30 though. Not for 30.
Yeah, no, not for 30.
Not for 30.
No. No, sir.
Stop it, Disney. Why are you charging 30? Just be regular, dog.
No, you heard the argument, right? People argue. This is what they say. This is what they go. They go, well, the price of 2 tickets, I'm going to stop you right there. two tickets aside, let me tell you what I don't have in my home. I don't have a 1,000-foot screen. I don't have surround sound right. the size of an arena. Those two things is why I pay that much. Like, do you know how pretty movies are? You might have the best 4K TV. Your 4K TV ain't 500 by 500.
But everybody got that. What if they on the 20-inch or something? What if they on their laptop? What if all they got is a laptop?
Surround sound that you can't even hear nothing but the movie and it sound crisp, where it sound like you can stab from right here. Yeah, that's why I pay the ticket price. I don't pay it to watch it. That's why Amazon Realms be $7.
Yeah. But well, you got is the laptop and you got the headphones with like one ear's going out. You got to move the wire. It's like I paid $30.
And I can't even keep the digital copy.
Exactly. And
it's digital copies cost less, and I own it forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
It's like I'll wait till it comes in the store, the PlayStation store. Like,
do you understand? It'll be cheaper for me to wait for Raya to come out, purchase a Blu-ray DVD or 4K. That'll be cheaper than this $30 rental. I can go buy it for less than that and own it forever.
I saw an article on this website called Cartoon Brew. Cartoon Brew is a website where professional animators in the industry, they all they can meet, they can make job postings, they can they provide like the insiders info on what's going on in the animation industry, right? So I was on there last week and I came across an article where Walt Disney's granddaughter was talking about how basically they don't like what's going on with that company, man. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about the dollar. And that, the machine that they become is a very successful machine, but she's not confident that they're going to continue on the trend where they're going. You know what I mean? And so I thought that was interesting, man, because it's like when I step out and I try to like pitch or market like what I'm doing with the animation, that's the first thing I say is, it's going to be like Disney style animation. And I'm just talking about the artwork, but more than that, I'm talking about the story too. You know what I mean? It's going to be a whimsical story. It's going to have some charm to it. They're going to be lovable characters that you love and enjoy. But the gist that I got from what Disney's granddaughter was saying is just like, man, they're just cranking out Frozen. And then that makes a bunch of money. So they come out with Frozen 2. And then they had and Frozen 2, which I don't know if y'all have seen it. We went, me, my wife, my daughter went to see it in theaters. And I absolutely hated the first 45 minutes of it.
Yeah. It's just, hey, that worked in the first one. Let's kind of we need another song, something like that. And yeah,
22 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street.
Oh, that story we would kind of pick. All right, let's try to make them get together, but not really. But make him more goofier.
Yeah. I mean,
that game about the first one. The first one, as a big nerd. When I watched the first one, and they go to the gnomes, and she says, "Okay, was she cursed or born with it?" And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And then it was like the first movie didn't even go over that. I'm like, and I remember living the movie and being like, I actually like Frozen, but I was like, nah, where'd she get that? Where'd it come from?
Right.
Nobody has it. You wake up,
this isn't to trash the artists who are working on these projects, because I mean, like it's phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like the design and everything is great. It's phenomenal.
Oh, it's pretty.
But it's just
it looks pretty.
It's like microwave food. Like they're just popping it out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make that dollar instead of like really letting it simmer and marinate so that you can get the absolute best movie that you can get. You know what I mean? And so, needless to say, I'm saying all that to say, don't get me sold, bro. Give me Meek Mill's story. Give me, you know what I'm saying? Give me Lee Alexander's story. Give me Griff's story. Give me Philip Butler's story.
You know what? I will say this though, for the sake of shooting a little bail, the big devil's advocate, because it is Disney, we're talking about Disney specifically, you're not going to get too much in the animated space. No Star Wars, no superhero, just the animation. You're not getting too much modern anything. Even Frog Princess was like not quite modern, and then like you don't get too much of it. So like them doing that for Soul, I'm gonna tell you what Soul was. Soul was Black Panther in Civil War. When you watch Civil War, they was like, they went, let's see how he does here. Check the analytics. Oh, they love him. Okay, green light Black Panther. Go ahead, green light that. Hurry up. See, what happened is, and I'll give them credit for this. They test the market first, because that means we're getting a shot, and I have respect for it. You're going to give us the shot at least. Okay, let me see that. Y'all like that? Yeah. How big is our profit? Okay, green light that movie.
Right. Here's my thing.
We sold out, and we sold out. We sold out for Black Panther. We sold out for that.
But like real quick,
hey, bro, did y'all wear dashikis, man?
No.
Watch what?
Yeah.
No, he said you wear a dashiki.
Did y'all wear dashikis when y'all went to see Black Panther?
Man, I wore a polo and some matching Nike.
But when I was in there, it was African. I was like, man, where you
I was like,
Cleveland? What's up?
I didn't do all that.
Yeah, it was great.
Funny story. I went to go see it. I was with my wife at the time, was my girlfriend. I watched the theater, right? All I said was 2 for 12 o'clock, please. Here you go. I never said the movie title. She knew why we were there. I never said. She's like, I know why you're here. I know why you're here.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm like, you damn right. You know why we're here.
But no, real quick though.
We're here to see Wakanda in them.
Real quick though, to go with you just said, Lee, like the thing that gets frustrating for us is like we've always been the test market, like especially if like networks are new or they establish stuff like the story of Fox, like how they got all those black shows, it's like test them out, then they got super popular, Living Color, Martin, all this stuff like that. It blows up. Then it's like, all right, we got our views. All right, y'all can get our change of time slots and all this stuff like that. Like Marvel, like Coming to America story, it was like super low budget. Pretty much did it by itself. Boom. Big money returns and stuff like that.
A lot of 90s black movies were like that. Not a big budget.
Blade knocked it out of the park. Nobody still knows. First real Marvel superhero.
What Friday made off like less than 100,000. The Friday, what it made off like less than 100,000? The movie Friday? Millions.
Yeah.
Marlon Wayans. Haunted House was made off a $1 million budget.
Haunted House,
the whole series off of that.
The whole Screen was a screen. What's the Wayne's Brothers version of that?
The movies like Scary Movie,
Scary Movie,
Disaster Movie. They made a bunch of them. Yeah, and after the Scary Movies, they were terrible.
Well, after the first two was the Marvel. After that, then they bought it because
they took it over.
And they were wondering why it didn't blow up like that. It's like, well, you took.
They didn't have the black writers. There were 2 more Scary Movies, right? Epic movie, disaster movie, superhero movie. There was date movie. I can't remember if there's any more, but they all were terrible. I saw 1 or 2 of these dozen for free. I was like, I'm glad this was free.
But yeah, stuff like that.
What was like, one of them? Nah.
But we show improve pretty much all the time. And then when it's like, oh, it's not them per se, it's like that idea. And then they take Scary Movie and try to do it on their own, and it doesn't work. So it's like, we've been doing this for like, all right, it's like 30 years.
The last 2 seasons of A Living Color when the Wayans left? Yeah, see, look, people even remember this. People don't remember this. If you're watching the first 2 or 3 seasons, it's like you're like, funny. Then at some point you're like, hey, why is everything different?
Yeah.
And then that's when it got canceled.
Yeah.
And
it was like the Jim Carrey show at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like how much more we got to show and prove. It's like we're proving at this point, right? So just give it to us.
I think what it is
stories. Put out a Static Shock. What's over when the Static Shock hasn't came out yet?
Static Shock was such a good cartoon. People don't know. Static Shock, I might be wrong about this, but I know for Harley Quinn it is true. That person got a show and they'll put in the comics later. If I'm not mistaken. I know Harley Quinn was. Yeah. I think Static Shock. That's how good the show was. And like how popular he was with people like Harley Quinn.
Static Shock was an independent comic. Then, they got...
Oh, was he in Dakota? Was he in Dakota?
Yeah.
Was he in Dakota?
Yeah.
Oh, Dakota. Yeah. You know about Dakota, Phil?
No, I don't.
It was a series of people, and I think a lot of them were black, that DC put into their universe. Static was one of them, and then what's the one powerful brother?
Icon.
It was a couple of them that were in a different comic universe. And did DC buy them outright, or did they just rent them? I can't remember how that worked
out. They bought like some of the rights. They didn't buy them all the way outright, but they got the rights to put them in certain stuff.
So yeah, there's a lot of
they got majority of them now.
That were not all black artists. Universe.
They all got together and was like, let's be creative, put out our own stuff, support. So pretty much like how the dudes that did Deadpool and Wildcats and stuff like that. How they started their own.
Was it Image Comics?
How Image started. The black dudes did their own version of that and stuff like that.
Oh.
And that's how Static Shock and all these other black characters came out.
It's a shame Image went under because I read some of the images and I remember they had a couple cartoons. We was kids. They had a couple cartoons. They had a couple games. Image Comics was like dark and violent.
Yeah. They all got paid though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the problem.
They
Just
made
like
their money.
Artists and business, it's like they're great artists, but they don't want to do. It's like, man, I'm here putting all my energy into creating and stuff, and it's like nobody doing the books.
Yeah, they were doing dirty stuff. That's why they kept leaving.
Yeah,
because I'll make a hero for your comic company, and you'll be like, oh, so what's our percentage of the hero? Percentage? No, you work for us.
Right.
So
but that was a good thing about it. Like they own their own rights to their own.
Yeah, that's why Image. Yeah, that's why Image was so successful at first. It was like huge successful. I think it was called the Extreme Verse, something like that. The Extreme Universe.
But when they left, it's like, oh, I get to take Deadpool and Wildcats with me. Now it's going to Marvel.
They had some crazy groups. Supreme was kind of hard too.
Yeah,
he was Superman, but he will kill you.
Supreme was
Supreme.
Dope. He was like
he will
Superman
kill you.
Yeah. What's that called? Dragon.
The Savage Dragon.
Savage Dragon.
USA Sunday morning. Boy, that was hard. Bro, I googled it one day.
I watched the cartoon.
I googled it one day to see where the storyline went. Bro, apparently he was a galactic emperor.
Yeah.
And lost his memory. Like apparently his story gets, and I was like, I never got to see this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's weird, man? It's like I'm surprised that like they haven't. I guess it would be tied up in like contracts and ownership and all of that stuff, but that they haven't tried to reboot any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's what I said.
Like
the Static Shock is really shocking from like they're just now putting him back in the comics. You see him messing with the Justice League, being the new younger Justice, like Young Justice. They had him in there in this last season and stuff like that. But I was like, he did stuff solo for a long time. You thought that'd be quicker.
Well, Snyder is a result of something that people try to do, but I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like most times fails, which is let's use social media to push an idea. And it works. Apparently, they're saying right now, not the Snyder cut, but Snyderverse.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they're saying that has the most tweets of any of these movements, even more than the Snyder cut did. I think it was like 1.5 million, whatever the word is, impressions. I don't know what the word is. And then like Snyder cut actually had like 1.2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying people want the Snyderverse movies. They want him to make these next movies. So if the HBO, but then the problem is it's going to come down to with the movie industry being what it is, how much will you make putting it on HBO Max with no real movie theater experience right now?
Yeah.
Will you get more subscribers? Because it equals another 1 million subscribers. Okay, I get it.
I think HBO Max is smart though. I think that's a smart move with everybody getting used to streaming and stuff like that, especially what happened with the theaters. But plus, it's like Snyder Cut, it was rated R. First of all, if you got HBO already, your mindset, this ain't for kids. So
yeah, you already know.
Yeah, so if you watching this, like they pretty much know the audience. If they happen to have like a kid show like HBO, there's like HBO Kids or something, that's going to be specifically over there. But mindset, you like, all right, this is for me. HBO Max, or I'm gonna see blood splatter or whatever's going on.
I just wonder though, man. It's like it's got to be tricky, man, because earning your money by putting butts in seats in the movie theater is different than subscriptions.
Yep.
That and just the sale. But like when they, like I said, they get into the selling digital, people are buying stuff. I was talking to somebody literally last night. They didn't believe me that DVDs were still a thing. Because they ain't watching no movies. I was like, man, I can let you borrow. Lee, I still got to let you borrow that She Hate Me. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop it off today for you, King. But
hit me up.
But, they didn't believe me. I was like, yeah, you watching DVD. I ain't got no DVD player. Who has that? She's like, they're mad. They still got a CD player in their truck. They're like, yeah, I'm buying this new truck. And they got to see. I was like, who has CD? I was like, there's old people, but some people like physical copies. We had to go to Walmart. As soon as you walk in, there's a little kid. I was like, boom, DVDs. So like, what do they play them on? They ain't got no players. I was like
gaming console, bro. Gaming console.
Yeah, they didn't understand that either. I was like, all right, let's go straight to it. I was like, it's gonna be there. I was like, boom, we walked past a record player. I was like, people still.
People like physical media.
Yeah, vinyl is even an art thing now because the sound quality and stuff like. But I was like, yeah, there's DVD players, Blu-rays for $70, which is crazy. But I was like, if you got a system like a Wii or something like that, you can play DVDs, Blu-rays, you're fine. And that's what most people. I was like, I'm not buying a DVD.
But that's why they started making smart Blu-ray players. You could stream and watch movies.
Yeah.
The smart Bluray players.
So that's what it said.
I can stream Netflix and I can put DVD if I have one.
And it had like Disney Plus on the box. I was like, oh, that's on the box.
I got one in my bedroom. But see, physical media for me was something I was starting to phase out. I had to get back into it because what happened is I have a lot of streaming. I have almost all of them between me, my wife, and I use some for my people. Thank you, Mama, Daddy. Appreciate it for the long run. But the thing is, you might have this movie here.
Alexanders, man.
Man, shout out to the Butlers though, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you might have a movie that you love. Like there was what was I watching? I was watching this movie called Promare. Promare is this anime movie. I didn't even know it was out because I wanted to watch it, but I missed it in theaters. You know, it was like a weekend or something.
Yeah.
So it was on HBO Max, and I was like, "Oh, when did it come here?" So me and my wife watched it. She's a big nerd too. And I remember I thought to myself, I know how some of these movies and shows work. They'll be up, then they'll be gone. You might go, "Oh, there's streaming platforms." No, there are shows that have come off. Movie shows are not for legal streaming anywhere. So there's certain things I've gotten into the habit of buying because I said I want to watch this again.
Right.
And I can't always, like, for example, there was a big anime that was on Netflix called Knights of Sidonia. It was their own thing. It was literally like Attack on Titan in space. It was so hard. Side note, it's getting a sequel movie sometime, I think, end of this year. So Knights of Sidonia was on Netflix. Then it was gone. Mind you, Netflix original. This was not like they borrowed it. This was their show. Gone. Then it was back up end of last year. Gone again this year. And I'm like, where did you go? And the thing is, had I bought it when it first was like popular, now it's like I'm not paying $50 for one disc. I'm not doing that.
There's so many things like people understand. Like they're renting these from like the actual channels or the stations. Like this is an ABC.
Yeah.
Probably it's like you're renting it from there and stuff like that. And then there's a whole thing now where the VPN and they're like doing it in different countries. So it's like, oh, Netflix still has it, but they're not showing it here. They're showing it
in America.
There. Yeah.
Yo, I've Googled shows. You'll Google a show, it'll be like, click on here to go to the Netflix app. Look at that .co, .jp, something else. You'll be like, so you click on it, it goes to your Netflix, not available. Please try again. I'm like,
and it's just like the Friends in the Office thing is like, they're talking about, oh, Netflix is losing and, it's about to go back to this streaming service. Like, I'm trying to tell people, oh, y'all seen it on Netflix. It's not on Netflix. Now it's on Hulu. Because, like, that's why I buy it. And it's like, what if I always tell people it's like, what if your internet go down? For that reason. What if your internet go, we got a power outage or something? It's like, what you going? I got these DVDs. I can pop in this laptop. I'm being entertained for a minute. So, internet go down.
Hey fam, I got my gaming consoles and I got my physical Blu-rays. I'm gonna watch something.
Yeah. I can't.
Like I'm not about to be here bored. I got games. I got movies. Yeah.
So like out of town, it's like we in this little bed and breakfast. Ain't no internet. All right.
Bring your station, bring you some movies. You're gonna be all right.
Gonna be all right, man.
Plus, me and him talked about this, and if anyone knows about gaming, because the PSP, PS Vita, and PS3 access to those online stores will be going down this year. So if you have media on there, now mind you, can't download on PS4, can't download on PS5, can't download on PC. So if you have physical media on there and you don't have the console with the download, you will not be able to access these games you paid for. The Wii, if you bought that back on the Wii store, if you bought, there's certain games on the Wii store that are also available like right now on the Switch, but these are two different systems. It doesn't download here to there. So you have to repurchase and re-download. Yep. There were games that I wanted. I thought there's some games I've been wanting to play, but I was like, they're a little older, like some of them on DS, some of them like on like whatever console. And I started looking up certain games like, I better buy these now. So I'm not going to be able to download them in the future. And some games you might want to buy now, if you even think you want to play it, buy it. You can get it for $10 today, or in 2 years it'll be $150 on Amazon. Like literally 150. There was the big game that came out last year was a Dragon Quest 11. Great game, loved it. The old ones for the DS and 3DS, they're not reprinting those. So when you go look up old DS, 3DS, the Dragon Quest RPGs, mind you, these are worldwide, like they're sold everywhere. There was one of them I wanted to get. It was like $95. I'm like, get out of here.
And that's another point. People always talking about, well, I can stream it later. These companies go out of business. A lot of these old film company stuff, it gets lost in the sauce because they only printed so many copies. Their company go under. Somebody ran off with the master. They was like, well, you got no more reprints of this.
Ran off on the plug. The Cinderella, the Brandy Cinderella, just got dropped on Disney Plus.
Right.
Why wasn't there at launch? Didn't it show on ABC?
Because it wasn't originally with necessarily Disney. I think it was a partnership. Yeah. So it's
that just got dropped. So if you wanted to watch it,
stuff, that's what you got to worry about.
That's why the pirating thing. That's why I think the government has kind of like been a little lenient depending on what you pirate. Yeah. This guy broke it down online. He says, okay, I want to play. He said, this one Pokemon game for the DS, right? He goes, I want to play it. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay, now watch this. It's not on your I can't download it from your store. I cannot buy a new physical copy. So it's either I buy it from a collector who you won't make money off of, or I pirate it. It's just like, so if you don't like it, make it make sense. And it's not just that, you're talking about, and no even plans to re-release it.
Yeah, so it's like, you can't, either way, you weren't making any new money off of it.
Yeah, you're not making money regardless. Right. Either I'm buying it off secondhand, or I'm going to have to pirate it. Either way, you're not making a dime off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they suck at making money. It's like
you'll get online and be like, hey, y'all should remake this game or this movie, or just, HD or whatever. It'll be like 10,000 people. I'm like, bro, you could make this digital only. Charge a nice little 20 piece. You'll sell 100,000 copies.
But just like the thing with Final Fantasy, I think like back then they didn't hold on to the mess. Somebody didn't save something or something. Once they put it out, they was like, all right, just keep making copies of the finished product. They ain't keep the stems. They can't remake the beat. Stems is
I just got a new laptop. I downloaded a few games off Steam, and the Final Fantasy 6 on there, it's like they redid the graphics. It's not the original one.
Yeah.
And so, but then like if you had it for PS1 or PS3 or Vita or PSP, if you downloaded it, that version is the file version from when they mastered it for PlayStation.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I use the bathroom.
Yep.
Oh, do your thing. It's not that original Super Nintendo version. So these versions get kind of chopped up. Sometimes they're better. Sometimes they're not. Like a good one is Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger, almost every version is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But some games
they just lose because you got to think, especially back in the day, if it's something like they're remastering from Nintendo and stuff like that, it was like these were saved on like floppy disks and stuff like that. And that's physical stuff. There's like, they kept it in a shoebox and putting out. Oh, we cracked the. Oh man, well.
I don't get why they can't reverse engineer it. Like I figured,
if the technology's so old, it's hard.
Oh yeah,
trying to convert it over.
That'd be like trying to. And I'm showing my age here. I used to play computer games when my friend first got a computer when I was a kid. And I remember there was a thing called, was it called MS.prompt? MS?
Yes, we were just talking about because my sister was in a school program. They brought that old Mac with the big floppies, and you have to type in the code.
And to do the games, you have to do MS whatever prompt. And it's like, that's how the game's loaded in. If I try to buy an old computer game and load that it wouldn't.
It's not going to fit it. You're going to be like, where does this put? Where's the USB part?
Well, you would need an adapter to an adapter to an adapter to an adapter.
Yep.
And then at that point, you probably load it and be like, because I didn't know this either. Apparently, not all certain retro games, when you put them on HD TVs and you don't use a proper HD adapter, they show up. It doesn't show properly.
Yeah, because it's 8-bit. You're trying to convert that over.
Like if you go to some of these nerd groups, you'll see people like they'll go, "Oh, I'm going to go play this old Super Nintendo game." If you don't have, because there's some systems have those HD adapters, some don't. Yeah. You'll see them plug it into an old tube TV because they have to.
No, I got to use the RCA on my. I remember when I fixed my Nintendo RE, got some pieces and stuff. I was like, I can fix this. Had the top open plane and then try to put it on my 40-inch flat. I was like, gotta go with the old plugs.
Yep. Everything's not because GameCube I think has this HD adapter, and I actually have a copy. If anybody knows anything about games, I have a copy of Skies of Arcadia, which is stupid rare. It's literally it's like one of the top-rated RPGs of all time. But they just said, we're not going to port this successful game. We don't need to do that. And I have a copy. I plugged it in to my TV, and I was like, man, it was like, what's that scene in Deadpool? He's like, MF, you're hard to look at. Because I don't have the HD adapter. I don't have the HD adapter for GameCube. So I plugged it in. I was like, ew, I'm gonna go. Okay, I unplugged it. I turned it. I was like, I'm not gonna do this no more. So I think the adapter's like $150 online. I said, I'll wait.
Wait, so is that Super Nintendo?
No, this I'm talking about. This is for GameCube.
GameCube.
But there's certain game systems where you can get like an adapter that'll make it fit in HD and make it look properly.
Yeah.
And I really need to get one. But
if y'all go to Crackle, there's a whole documentary about Nintendo. It's pretty good. They talk about how it started from playing cards and them going through the struggle and dealing with like PlayStation and like how these game beefs and all the stuff like that. And a lot of times people are like, man, Nintendo, you shot yourself in the foot for being petty. And they'll speak.
Nintendo.
How are they petty?
There's a couple things. Do y'all remember the Nintendo? Hold on. I'm gonna give you an example. Do y'all remember the Nintendo black cartridges? Do y'all remember those?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. there was an issue with that where people would pay the it was like I forgot how the specifics. You paid a license to put your game on Nintendo. We all know that, right?
Yep.
But then there was another issue where there's like you got to use our cartridge and got to pay this price.
Yeah. So Nintendo, pretty much, they're the first really functioning on like 8-bit games and stuff like that with a master. So they had pretty much a monopoly because they were the most consistent one. Besides, because Atari was the only other competition, but Atari games trash. Like the ET came
not
out.
Even close.
That broke people's heart, and they were like, Pitfall and stuff is over here. So Nintendo had these set rules. Granted, they wanted like a certain quality, so they put out rules for all the developers to do, but some of the stuff is petty. Like you got to use an R cartridge. There's got to be a standard. You got to games have to do this certain type of way. They got to use this chip. And that was a big petty thing because the chip they put in only would read on the Nintendo. So, and then you had to pay for that chip. And so they would charge you like $10, whatever, for those little cases or whatever. Like, they're like, but we only selling the game we not making no profit unless it blows up. So if you're like a new developer trying to get a game, it was like, we got this other Metroid game. It's like, but it was like, Metroid 2 is better than 3. We're not buying that. It's like, damn, but I paid Nintendo all these cartridges.
It was stuff where it was like it makes it seem like standards and practices. Yeah, this is a good standard. Nah, you was being a little petty on some of that.
And then when another company figured out how to short out their chip, that's like all we gotta do is like take off this piece here and this here. Everybody can play it. So that's when all those weird cases and stuff. We just like, oh, this one got an indentation over here. All those other companies, it was like, because they couldn't stop people from buying the game. If you already had Nintendo, it's like, I can buy this $20 game. It's like, I want to buy this one.
Right.
So that's when Nintendo started suing and all this other stuff. So
hey, I gotta check that out, man.
It's good. It's about 5 parts, and it's on crack.
Some stuff you're gonna remember. Some stuff you're gonna remember. He talked about this before, and there's stuff when we was kids you might not have paid attention, but you'll see things like, oh, I do see that growing up. Hey, what happened to that thing over there?
I remember my mama going to the fair and getting some games. I was like, only Zelda had the gold case. How'd this case come? Like stuff like that. It's like you see games, you're like, why is this turquoise? I'm used to the gray. Start seeing all that weird stuff. I was like, you got this at the fair, not Toys R Us? Where'd you? Like, it works. I don't care.
But see, Nintendo shot themselves in the foot too. Nintendo, there's a lot of games right now that are doing amazing. Nintendo used to have the exclusive license for.
They're the reason for PlayStation. They had a deal with Sony to start developing discs because they were cartless forever.
Yeah,
they were trying to get into the disc game because Sega's CD and Saturn.
But they cut. Those was for a big cut, wasn't it? Like a
no, it wasn't even that. They had a deal, and it comes out that Sony was like, "Well, we might want to look into games and stuff like that too." And Nintendo was like, "Look into games? Nah, man, y'all work for us. You know what? You're done." So they cut the contract, and Sony was like, "What?" In Japan, like them getting cut out the deal is public and stuff. Because Nintendo is big, and Sony is like, "Are you disrespecting us in the public?" They was like, "You Nintendo as far as game, but we are Sony. Sony is all digital." So they was like, "Oh, we got to
do everything.
We'll throw a little change to create a game, and then the PlayStation came out."
Man, we gonna get our writers from our movie department, bro, and start turning movies into video games. What are you talking about,
fam? And then if you look at it, Final Fantasy VII, as big as that game was, what it did for the RPG genre shouldn't even exist. Because Nintendo was the exclusive RPG maker for a long time. Then PlayStation got their hands on it. And it was like, Nintendo, you had this. Dragon Quest is huge now. Y'all started Dragon Quest. Like, there are these games that are like worldwide multi-million sellers. Like, y'all had the exclusive number to this. Exclusive.
Yeah, so when Sony and Sega, that was a big thing because a lot of like developers had a bad taste with Nintendo because they were doing them dirty. So as soon as somebody new came out and they had technology that can keep up with what they wanted to do, they jumped ship quick. And that's why all those things you used to be on Nintendo were exclusively like starting to get on PlayStation and stuff like that. It's like Square Enix.
Like I remember seeing Mega Man when they were putting the Mega Man game on Sony. I was so confused.
All them that jump ship.
I said something to you about that because that was around the time we were working at Dixie Dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Man Legends, bro.
Yeah, Mega Man, I was so confused. Like I don't know, and I just didn't know. I didn't know the backroom talks, the deals. I didn't know anything of that.
Sometimes you just don't know. I'm gonna give you one. Y'all remember the Streets of Rage games?
Yeah.
The little arcade fighting games? Yeah. So technically, we were given Streets of Rage 4 in high school. Technically, Fighting Force was supposed to be the next level of Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I remember playing the game as a kid and being like, "This looks like nah." And it's like, no, it was supposed to be that. Now
it's supposed to be like Hoggard's story, the mayor or the wrestler dude story or something.
Yeah. But it is out now. There is Streets of Rage 4 out now. I think on Switch and PlayStation. You can download it now. But it came out. It was like I think like 40, and I was like, hold on, bro, this game is like 5 hours. I'm not paying $40 for that. I'll wait for it to go on sale.
That stuff is super. I like finding out stuff back in because like you said, we were kids and stuff. We didn't realize all this stuff. You're just like, oh, this is the way it is, and you like find out all these.
But then it makes sense. Then you see it.
And all the business stuff.
That's why that happened. That's why I did this. Oh,
but you see their grind, you're like, oh, that was smart. Until then, there's sometimes like you just see people get earned. You see how business does. It's like, man, we don't need. We're us now.
That's what the free market does. If I have something that can sell, as long as you have the backing, you can make your money. So if you're not gonna play ball, they'll play ball. She'll play ball. He'll play ball. If this is gonna make them a profit, somebody will play ball.
Man, that reminds me of Blockbuster. Blockbuster said that to Netflix, right? They were like,
because they could have been an investor.
They could have been invested in Netflix.
But what's hilarious?
Man, people come to our stores. They like the smell of our stores, which I did like that Blockbuster smell.
But do you remember that little desperate thing? Because like after Red Box was blowing up, then all of a sudden you saw that little Blockbuster box kind of sitting next to over to the side. Was like but they already started closing stuff. I was just like,
hold on. How about this one? Do y'all remember Blockbuster did try to stream? Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
They had to connect. Was it Dish Network? It was through Dish Network.
Only through Dish.
Dish Network and Blockbuster had their own delivery, and the Blockbuster almost had a leg up.
That's right.
Like I said, they were trying to compete with Redbox. They were trying to have,
and they had some streaming. Some streaming, but it was too little, too late. It was like we have the cure for cancer stage 3. You have stage like 20. It's like you waited too long. Like you waited too. Like it's too late now. You waited too long. It
was hard to compete with Netflix because remember when Netflix was like when they were sending DVDs, it was like you can hold it as long as you want.
Yeah, you
can't get nothing new until you bring it back or stuff like that. And Blockbuster was still like, you got 2 days for this new. But it's like it just came in the mail. I gotta mail it. I can't control.
That's what I'm saying about too little, too late. See, Blockbuster, what they did was my parents had it for like a year, then it went away. Yeah. Blockbuster, you could take it back to the store.
Yeah.
So then it's like I want to go.
But if I want to go online and get another one back. Down at that point.
That's the problem. It was too late. So you had the streaming, but you had to have this network stuff. So it wasn't just an app; it was through Dish Network. So it was like, and then they limited themselves because I might know 3 ninjas who had Dish, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't snap y'all for this.
We still here. It's you.
I hope y'all come back.
It's just you. We're still here. It's okay.
I see y'all again. Yeah, y'all back for me.
We never left.
I'm the problem.
Yes.
Hey, bro, you got Spectrum cable, man. Spectrum internet.
I sure know.
Hey, man,
I do. My internet be jumping.
I do. I had it. It's better than my AT&T. It's just where I'm at because AT&T was tripping. They was like, man, we'll give you 2 megs. I'm like, man, 2 megs. Is that the highest? It was like,
well, you know, because we were going to get
yeah, they're trying to charge me 60 for something.
We were going to get the fiber, and then the fiber pulled out of Louisville. They pulled out,
and it was supposed to come through mine, and it didn't. The Spectrum, I had to wait I only had Spectrum for like 2 years now because it took them forever to come here. I was like, why y'all hate my street? Like the library got super high speed down the road. I was like, they just hate my street.
Fam, that fiber, I was hyped because I was gonna get it as soon as it came in my area. I was like, I'm getting that fiber because I saw people who do YouTube. They were talking about the difference. You need to get the highest plan, and it's crisp. And then Google was like, "Nah, we done." I don't know what happened here in the city, but they were just like, "Nah, we out."
I'm pretty sure it's our fault.
Whose fault?
Our fault as far as the city. Somebody.
I'll guarantee you.
Somebody wanted
Louisville kept Charter out of the city of Louisville for like years.
Yeah.
Like years, they kept them out. It was like, nah, we got Spectrum, Time Warner. TKR. It's been a lot of
somebody was getting some money on the table. It's like, man, I can't. I got this.
And so Charter built that office that you was working out of. It was like Charter had an office here, but only worked in the counties.
Yeah, and we couldn't get here. And I was like, get here so I can get this discount, man. I'm tired of paying for it. Everything would be free if you would move here. They was like, man, you can get free online music. I was like, oh.
I got YouTube. I stay with free music. I'm on YouTube. I stay with free music. What you mean?
It was before Spotify. They had like
Spotify free plan. Listen, I learned Spotify is easy to trick. Look, you play your song, 4 ends, pause it, click another song. You will never hear another ad. You'll never hear an ad.
Really?
Change your song before it ends. You'll never hear an ad.
Note that.
Hold on, it might. Did it change? I don't know if it changed. This is when I first got Spotify years ago. I was playing a song. I had heard the ads, but I'm cheap. I ain't paying for the premium. So one day I think I paused it and just clicked the next song. Like I clicked it myself, and it was like, wait, does the ad only come on when the song ends? Or does it ever come at the beginning?
I don't know. That's what broke my heart about Hulu. I was like, Hulu used to be all free.
Free because free with ads.
Then it was like ads. But it would be like every so often, like you could watch a whole show, then be like ads. Then it was like, all right, we're gonna drop a few ads within this show. Like it would be really on TV. I was like, all right. And then there's like, buy, you ain't gotta worry about no ads.
No,
and it'd be like you buy it and there's still ads in it, so you gotta get like super premium or something. Yeah,
the cheapest plan was with ad. I'm like, with ads, with the service, you can't be having both.
Right.
I am learning the other side of that with my position now at the firm. A little bit. I'm still the art guy. Like I'm not in sales, advertising, and marketing, but
make a difference. Yeah, what were you saying about the other side of it?
Bail out these sales guys. Make them human for us.
I mean, it's nasty. It's nasty. And I'd say the practice in and of itself may not be nasty. This is maybe a conversation that y'all can have with Johnny, but it's like the pricing may be the nasty side of it. So for me as an animator, right? If let's say I want to put an animation up on Hulu, they have to be able to secure the money when Hulu was free. Mm-hmm. So when Hulu was free and I wanted to put content up on Hulu, they would have to be able to secure the money to pay me as the content creator. So that's where the advertisements come in. Mm-hmm. So like I have a different view on ads nowadays because I mean, you know, the revenue has to be collected. It gets collected from the advertising dollars then trickle down to pay.
Yeah, we're trying to get them
studio and all of that stuff, right? So then once you jump to the subscription method, that I don't know so much about, but all I know is like so for Netflix, Netflix is different, right? Like a content creator who's going to Netflix, they may be able to get their money, you know, up front because they have all of these investors who are backing the project. So you can get a little bit of money up front, produce the content, and then you can get your money, you can get paid out on the back end. So like, as far as like advertising versus subscription model, I'm learning a little bit more about it, but I'm more lenient towards advertisements nowadays because, you know, especially if it's like a brand new network and it's starting out, you know, and you're trying to get content creators, podcasters, and all these guys trying to come and jump on there and build this thing out. Like advertisements, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I was just hurt about the bait and switch of like, oh, if you do this, then it's like, all right, you got me to get you just subscription. And it's like, then you took away the no ads thing. It was like, nah, man, you got to 2 levels up.
Yeah, you gotta pay the $2
That's nasty.
Yeah.
At first, that's why Hulu was like people don't understand this. Netflix was winning over Hulu for a while, and Hulu had access to like brand new aired yesterday TV shows. But it was like, well, how's Netflix still winning? Because I can watch straight through with that one price I paid.
Yeah,
no exceptions, no different tier. The cheapest standard definition plan gets me unlimited streaming, no ads, straight through. Hulu's cheapest plan still had like heavy ads. It was like, because remember, it used to be at the beginning. Then it was like beginning, middle. There was like beginning, middle, end. It was like
basically the free, but there's no more free anymore. So it's
so you
how
paying
free
it
was. Yeah.
Because could you imagine paying and watching a YouTube watching a YouTube podcast and having ads all through it? It'd be like, I'm not gonna, not both. There's no.
It's like paying for that YouTube Red with no ads and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, man, you gotta probably YouTube Blue.
I know, right? YouTube Blue.
But yeah, Hulu is for people. It's for people who want cable without paying cable prices. It's like you get
it's still a good service.
Jumping on, so yeah, because
it's a good service. But the ad thing, I get it. I get the ad thing though, because it does allow new mediums to be created. Like YouTube, even though YouTube doesn't handle everything probably the greatest in the world, but no company's perfect. It's like it does allow people who can get a platform, get a following to make a little money and keep making content.
Right.
Like I get it. Like I'm not.
How long y'all think these cable companies are really gonna last though? Especially since the individual channels are starting their own streaming stuff. I'm
gonna say this. We'll see the individual channel streaming. I'm gonna say that's gonna stop real quick because as you notice how HBO Max they pulled in some from Crunchyroll. They pulled in DCN. Like HBO knew better. They said we got to pull in enough content because Disney Plus first launch. Not now. I remember saying to my wife, I wanted it to watch like Mandalorian, all this stuff. I said, I love the classic Disney movies, love Star Wars, love the MCU. Am I going to watch this every day like I do Netflix and Hulu? And I said, I don't see it. But like they didn't have it yet. Now they're getting it because these brand new shows, they're continuing whole universes in these shows. Star Wars for MCU, so it's like, okay, now you're getting there. They put Hamilton on there. Oh, you got plays on there. Like it's getting there. But see, HBO Max from jump was HBO Max with heavy anime, with heavy superhero DC. Like they had it from jump, and it was like plus HBO. While they don't have a million shows, they have very award-winning shows.
Award-winning. Then they have subgenres within themselves because you got to think HBO stand-up. All those stand-up specials growing up were only
so it's called HBO Max. But that's like four companies. So it's like they did it better. Yeah, so they did it a little bit smarter. So that's why Netflix and Hulu, they're gonna be all right. But HBO Max, no, we gotta combine some things together.
But I'm talking about just like a Tom Warner or whatever people's like local.
They're going to get I'm telling you what's going to happen. Personally, I think it's going to become a bidding war. If I'm Tom Warner or whatever companies that still have stake in shows, it's going to be like this. All right, what do we have in our catalog? What can we permanently sell or lease to these streaming services? It's going to be a thing where it'll probably be what do we have our hands on that we have our hands on that we can push to wherever. Who's going to give me the most money for it? And it might become that kind of thing.
Yeah, because especially like if you have like NBC and some of these other old television stations jumping into the streamings, you know, if they're trying to take back The Office, Seinfeld, and all of that stuff, they're gonna probably want to purchase, you know, a bundle of animated series or something like that just to add to their time slot because they're family friendly. You know what I mean? And you've got a whole suite of that over at HBO Max.
Yeah,
and streaming does create something that people talk about we all need to do, which I got to figure out how to do that. You create a lot of passive income. So Netflix can put out 2 flops, but if I have a million subscribers paying at least $10 a month, and my payroll's covered at this many subscribers, but I have this many subscribers, I can re-up if I have 2 or 3 flops.
And the investment is like, in the long run, it's better. So it's like, all right, you buy Hulu, it's like $8 or $9 a month. But you get this flow, like you said, different channels and stuff you can browse through, figure it out. Now, if you have cable, you got to pay $15 just to add like a movie channel.
Yeah.
Like if I just want HBO, so it's like, why don't I just go straight to HBO Max or something? I get that strip and I get all this other stuff. Like you said, Crunchyroll and everything else.
Even with all this, I literally broke it down to somebody one day. If I break down all the most popular streaming services, if we go, let's say Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Disney, and let's say you get the package where it's like Disney with Hulu and ESPN. Let's just say you have that package. Yeah. I could then add, if you're an anime fan, Funimation and Verve/Crunchyroll, and it's still cheaper than $100 a month cable. It's still cheaper.
Yeah. What more stuff?
And look, and don't let me add Prime, which is $60 once a year.
Right.
It's still cheaper. than cable.
Because some people be paying like $200 or something crazy dollars for cable, and it was like, you still ain't got the crazy movie channel. He's like,
and the taxes still keep going up on it too.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the cable company, and I don't know this, I'm just shooting from the hip. I think they're gangsters, bro.
They are.
And I think they're gonna try to and this is just wild conspiracy theory.
Ain't a
right?
conspiracy. It's truth, king.
All right. Just kind of follow me down this rabbit hole. So, okay. So Eric Snowden comes out. He's like, hey, y'all, government's kind of shady. You know, they struck a deal with your phone, with your phone companies to get access to your records and so on and so forth. So now, you know, there's the phone services doing businesses with the government. Well, now I just got a call from Spectrum the other day. Dude was like, hey, man, Mr. Butler, you've been with 77 months. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, that's a long time, bro. What can you do for me? And he basically said, you know, for an extra $20, you know, we'll give you 10,000 channels, this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah.
It's always more, but never just like, we'll take away.
Yeah.
We'll lower your bill. It's always like, man, you give us $20 more, man. I can. My bill's still getting higher, though, my G.
It was crazy.
7 months, man. You take off his box that you charge me every month for. Free box.
And so I think there's gonna be like a Hail Mary pass or some kind of play where these cable companies are basically trying to get in bed with those in power, man, to try to make this, to try to convince us that cable is a utility.
It's not.
They're gonna.
This is where they messed up for me. The biggest sham is, like I said, you've been with them. You start off, you get some crazy deal or something. It's like, man, I pay $50 for cable, and I got all this stuff. And, you know, they throw in a free sports package for the first year or something like that. Get all this crazy stuff. Then, you know, your stuff run out. Now you're paying over $100, something like that. And then they still send out ads. You might look at your neighbor's mailbox, and you get some little flyer or something. You're like, $20 for the same package?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, so you can afford to give me this. If you're just throwing this out or something, or even halfway, you can meet me halfway and still get a profit. But you just hit me over the head.
You know what? A couple years ago, I had a coworker. He went through this. He literally called and said, hey, can I get that new promotional package? Oh, no, you're just a customer. Word, cancel my everything. Talk to everybody, cancel. He waited 5 minutes. Yeah. No. He waited 5 minutes. He called back. Yeah, I'm a new customer. I want the new deal. And then he got it. So apparently what happened is they're aware, but the salespeople can't just tell you these routes. You have to literally like do it the difficult way and then you can get it. But then it's like for me, my last straw was they sent me a letter, said, hey, you've been with us like 3 years, keep you at the same price. Because you used to get an alert when your price was going to go up.
Yeah. So
year or two goes by, I get no alert. I pay my normal, what I paid, get an email, you're short about $30. I'm like, short $30, I don't know. Log in. When did my bill go up $30? I got no warning. Mm-hmm. Thing is, I already had Netflix. I think I had like Hulu through my girl, and then it was like, and then I had like something else through my people, and I said, you know what? I wrote down. I said, what shows do I need to watch? And at the time, it was Game of Thrones. It was Walking Dead. Game of Thrones, I knew I could watch another way, and Walking Dead, I think at the time was like Hulu. At the time was on Hulu like live, and I was like, okay. I remember it was like this. It was like I came home from work after reading the email. I packed all my crap up. I said, I'll take this box. I had like 2 boxes. Take those. Wires. Even the wires they let you keep, I brought them too. On my lunch break at my job, I went to the Spectrum building. I said, you can have all this. She was like, oh, sir, may I ask you? No big deal. Yeah, y'all, my bill went up and nobody gave me no warning. She looked, mind you, this is the work. She goes, oh, like she broke for a second. She's like, ooh, we can offer you. Don't worry about it, man. Just take that. Take that. Say, man, like I was like, you take
it's
that.
Like, I'm not. Wait, it's like, well, I did the gesture. I'm not rescrewing anything back. I already did it. No,
like I'm in my last straw. Right. And so what happened is, I still had internet. So I think I ended up having like a bonus like a month and a half. I had to pay the bill because like I had the bonus because I had paid the bill, but then like I said internet, so it was cheaper, so it was cool. But I took it back, and I remember even she was like, ooh, because the amount it went up with no warning made no sense.
No explanation, bro. There's no
and
explanation,
my thing is,
man.
I took it at the time. I think I had just gotten a PS4 at the time, and no, this is before I got with her, and I think I bought an Xbox off somebody for cheap. So I was like, oh, I can stream. I got multiple streaming devices now, so I really didn't care at that point. Didn't care at all. I was like, okay, I'll stream and I'll figure out what I want to watch, and I did because there were certain shows I was watching. How do I say this? Do you ever watch something just because it's available?
Yep.
And I started realizing there were certain shows I was like, I only watch you. Like I had my DVR set up. I was only watching it because I had it set up and it was convenient.
Yeah.
So I was watching like Two Broke Girls, which was a great show, but the last few seasons weren't that good. But I just was watching it because I'd been watching it.
Right.
So I couldn't watch it no more. I didn't care anymore. I was like, oh. Once you start when you sit down and start analyzing, you'll be like, wait, what do I need? Oh, I'm good. Right. I don't need this.
Whole lot you don't need.
Bro, like you start cutting things out, you're like, wait, that's not even important. Like I changed a lot of stuff, and it changed my mindset for a lot of stuff. Like I was like, what was I watching this for to begin with? It's like stuff connects. You start going like, oh wait, let me just remove this nonsense. I can cut my money out, more money into my pocket. Thank you, amen. And
right,
I was good.
The only time really I would get cable, man, is like just this past month. I got a Sling TV package, and it's the last time I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? But for March Madness. But then I'm like, oh wait, CBS, they have their own streaming channel. So you know,
that's Paramount Plus now, right? Like Paramount Plus is what it's called now, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
CBS All Access now. It's Paramount something.
Yeah. And the other thing about that is you can get, I think, WLKY, you get the local channel for free through CBS. Yeah. So then, like, now that I say that, I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it's a wrap for these cable companies. Now, because at first I'm like, well, how does it look for you if you're WLKY, WHAS, Fox, you know, the local stations? But it's like, well, if I can get one of them through streaming service, man, it's like,
But that's what I'm saying. The cable companies they're kind of blockbustering this thing where it's like, y'all see what's happening. You not need to get behind the 8 ball. And no, another app isn't going to help you. Some people need to learn you'll probably make more money just partnering up because people don't want to spend another $10 a month for something they want to watch every now and again.
Right.
Because then because Netflix goes through this every year with I'll say every other year with Stranger Things. Stranger Things launches. For a month, it spikes, then it goes back down. Mandalorian on Disney Plus, same thing, spikes, then goes back down. But see, Disney got smart. They don't drop the whole show all at once. You gotta watch it once a week.
Hulu did that with the Wu-Tang series.
Yes, I was watching that.
That's Disney Plus. That's Disney Plus pretty much now.
But I was watching. I was mad about that because I was watching it in 2019.
I think so, yeah.
And we didn't get a season 2. I was like, did it get canceled? Because I was enjoying it.
I know, man. Yeah.
And it's dropping, I think, end of this year. And season 2 should be starting. Well, apparently they're jumping to recording 36 Chambers. So, but my thing is that's a big jump though.
That's a big jump, bro.
Because when that show ended, that first album wasn't even out yet.
Right, no.
So they're jumping to 36.
36 anime. Is the first album, right?
36 Chambers? Hold on. Crap, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was first. No, you're right. I'm thinking about Wu-Tang Forever. Never mind. I'm thinking about Forever. Yeah. No, Forever was the next one.
The stuff they were doing in the first, it was some of the stuff on the demo for 36.
Yeah, I was going to say it was some of the beats. Because
they put it out.
RZA was over there. He was like banging the pipes.
Yeah.
And they looking at him like, yo, bro, what's wrong with you, man?
They didn't even have all the people though yet. What's the dude nobody likes? You guys? I don't even think he was in the mug yet.
He was in jail.
Oh, you guys was in jail? And Inspector Deck. Was that Joey Badass as Inspector Deck?
Yep.
Oh crap.
Yeah. Hey, dog. They made
that show. That should have been that should have been back for season 2.
That's saying like it was like a gap. It was like watching Attack on Titan, bro. It's like first of all, don't be having years between seasons, dog. Like
they had like 2 documentaries.
Man, not like that. Because we gotta see how the relationship
like ATL
these dudes.
ATL what?
Oh, Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta
at the end of this year or something like that.
Because it was like a year and 1 or 2 years between the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Because Rick and Morty did that, where like Rick and Morty was like they came out, then it was like a year, then it came out.
But that
like
was
a year and a half, then it came out.
And funding. ATL was like down. I was like, hey man, I'm busy.
Hey, Atlanta, that's a hard show, bro. So hold on, have y'all watched all of Atlanta? Have y'all watched all of Atlanta?
I have.
Damn. They left homie on stuck. He come back with a chick and some Chinese food. He not know they was like. I'm sitting there like, hold on, you had to know they was moving out today, right? Like you had to know, right? They just dog. Where y'all at, man? I know you're home. Cause they left and moved.
I guess they did. I guess they was like.
That
was his thing. He's like, you can't be fighting my people.
You know, I hate to say it because I hate this because it's like Donald Glover started that fight. Like he asked, I'm a beat. But homie was like,
he was messing with him the whole time. Yeah.
No, I'll say that he was messing with Donald the whole time. But Donald, you know your place. It
was a couple of times Donald was like, man, you was in the wrong. Like the race, remember you trying to spend money, couldn't spend no money. It was like, man, we'll take cash. It's $100. It's American currency.
The gun scene with the gun scene at the end. Let me tell you a message about that because I flew recently and I'm sitting here like, and this is what the rapper was talking about. He said, you can't be doing this dumb stuff. He's like, how you genius over here?
Yeah.
You can't. He said, bro, you can't even bring a pocket knife in this mug.
You're right.
Oh, I forgot it was my backpack. We've been packing for the last week. How you not know what's in? Like, when you think about it, you didn't just pack this morning. Y'all had to pack up the whole apartment.
Like, his trip's been playing. But
you tell me you didn't open your backpack. What do I not need?
That's the thing. That's why I really hope they do something where it flashback to see what happened with him in college.
Fam, because remember the first season they said something like, do y'all know what happened? Was it Dartmouth? Princeton? They said, y'all know what happened to Princeton? Nah, he ain't told nobody. They showed him slow motion walking through the street. And I was like, man, that's going to be a good story point 4 years later.
Right. Yeah. I think I'll wait to get the system, bro. I sold my PS4, man.
Nah,
let her do hustle me out of my PS4.
No.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. We were tight.
Hey, man, look, PS4 cheap now.
Yeah. It was last year. Oh. I had like PS4. I had Call of Duty World War II, a joystick, that Marvel Spider-Man game. May have been a year and a half ago.
The game was real.
And then like a headset with a talking piece and maybe like an extra joystick. Man, I went to this pawn shop, dog, because they were like, we could pay cash out. Because a lot of places wasn't doing that. I rolled up in there, man, and I laid it all on the table, and I didn't even go back and forth with the dude. I was just like, yeah, this is what I got.
He was like $20.
He was looking at it. He was like, so what you looking at? I was like, about 300. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, well, you know, the game, the PS5 is going to be previewed this November at the Q4, this and that, and $175. And I was like,
wow.
I kind of looked around and I was like,
wow,
money, bruh. He was like, take it or leave it.
You should have been like, cool.
I was like,
because the two games right there are more than half of that.
That Marvel game was hard too.
It was. That game was hard. It was hard. What was worse though was when they were processing it. You know, they got to hook it up to make sure it works and stuff. So he popped in the Spider-Man game, and he was like, "Oh wow!"
As soon as you did that, you should have been like, "Nah, man."
I was like, "Dude had a gun on. He had a gun on his hip too." You know what I'm saying? So maybe had a little.
As long as you tell me, like, I changed one.
But Phil, hold on, you got a kid, don't you?
Yeah.
Y'all got 3 stemmies. But if you don't get you a little something for yourself.
I am. I'm thinking about it.
Oh, summertime. That summer one is going to hit nice for you, player.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice.
Really. Because she was like 2 at the time, and I would be playing it. She would come back there, and I would give her the other joystick, so she act like she was playing.
Give her the little brother. Doing what your man doing?
And it hit me, dog, because like I feel like not that long ago, man, maybe a year ago, maybe less. She came up and she was like, "Daddy, what happened to your Spider-Man game?" And I was doing that before she could really talk. You know what I'm saying?
She forgot.
I was like, then it brings back the pawn shop experience. I'm like, man, let me just get a new system, dog.
Dude with a pistol got me, honey. He had a thing.
He finessed me. I got finessed.
He was like, I give you about 24. You like, I thought you said 100. No, I said 20. Put it on the table.
What's on the belly? Don't pull it out if you're not gonna use it.
Can I get store credit or something? Nah, man.
Nah, player.
Give you the crumbled up dollars. Nope. He'll even give you like.
He threw it at you.
Ball baby hit your chest. Get out of my store. He was like, stop playing. You don't need Hooker. You still playing it when you look at the window. No. Oh, you got save players on her? Oh, you got all the suits.
You got all the suits? Oh, all right.
Playing a new campaign on your suit. You got the Miles Morales before it even came out. How do you do that?
Oh, man. Yeah, it was funny, dog. It was fun.
But
that's hilarious.
Man, what else new you got coming out, man? What projects y'all got coming?
Man, I wanted to postpone to, because we were supposed to do this last month.
A month and a half.
Two.
You've been waiting 2 months for this.
2 months? Oh man. Well, and all right, so I have this project that I'm working on right now, and I don't know if I can say too much about it. I can't say anything about it. I'm not really good with this promo stuff, so I'm just gonna keep it all under wraps. But I have launches. Yeah. So I was working on the trailer for the series. I just finished the trailer, and I passed it off to Johnny. Johnny's gonna put it all together, and then we're gonna go ahead and start promoting it and doing all of that stuff. But I have a guy who is actually in the animation industry, a homie that went to UK, and I sent it over to him to critique. He went through it and gave me some solid critique, and was like, all right, I would tighten this up here, I would maybe clean this up there. So I'm like, all right, well, let me clean it up first and go back, redo it, and then I'll re-release it. Hey, bro, my bad, dog. I was like, all right, I guess that's it. That's a wrap. I got up, man, used the bathroom, ran upstairs, called the wife real quick, like, hey, man, what we gonna do tonight with it? My bad, dog. My bad, man. Hey, you gonna keep that in there too? All right, that's straight. My bad, man. I figured y'all were gonna roll with it. All right.
It just shuts off.
We all kind of look at you. But no, man, we're gonna give you a proper send off. Go ahead, man. Finish what you were saying.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, man, shout out to y'all's folks, man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Social media they can follow you on, because I'm
you can it starts my website, philcojoe.com, philcojoe.com. You can follow me on Instagram at philco_joe with the lowercase p, and I am on I think that's my same handle on Twitter too. And then you can find me on Facebook at just look me up, Philip J. Butler, or the Art Martialist Designs on Facebook.
I like that name too. That's a dope name, the Art Martialist.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, dog. I just you know what I'm saying? I feel like, like anybody, man, like when you pursue something in life, if it's your God-given talent, you know what I mean? Like, you got to take it serious. You know what I'm saying? And so I've taken martial arts before, and it's like, you shouldn't play around with it, So that's just kind of what it is. Kind of like Muhammad Ali says, I am the greatest. That's not necessarily what I'm saying, but it's like that. And that, if you want to be an artist, man, like, really pursue it. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking into existence.
Yeah,
be the best you can be. The absolute best
you can be. There was a dude when I went to Georgia with my wife. We went to Savannah. We were dating at the time, and I was looking at the SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, the SCAD website, and there was a student who was graduating that they had premiered on their website, and he was saying, they quoted him as saying, an artist should take it as seriously as a doctor, as a lawyer. You know what I mean? As a physicist. And I was like, you know what, man, that's dope. I'm gonna take that. And that's how I feel. So that's kind of like what the art martialist is, So it's like, And I'm building a team. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking for a background artist, looking for a character design artist, and that's what I'm looking for somebody who wants to work with us. You know what I mean? Like when you come and you do this thing, like you got to take it serious. You know what I'm saying? You got to be studied up on it, so we can make it happen. Because we can't play with Jesus, dog. Like we doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't play.
All right.
All right, so we'll post all this, drop all your links. We'll get the link to that trailer. If it comes out earlier, I'll edit it at the end of the video too. Okay. We'll hit you up, man. Thanks for coming out.
Cool. Appreciate it, brother. Man. Y'all be cool.
Peace.